the Kansas City Chiefs are in serious trouble. They have to make difficult adjustments in order to clear the way for new acquisitions to sign their new deals this week. Every NFL team must comply with the $279.2 million salary cap till today. Let's have a look how they managed to stay in the salary cap and sign new contracts. And the big question is, did they do enough? Let's break it all down. What's up, buddies? Welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We cover all AFC West news here on this channel. Earlier today, the new league year officially kicked off at 3 p.m. Kansas City time. This marks the moment when reported trades can finally become official and unrestricted free agent signings are cleared to happen. Essentially, it's the start of a free-for-all across the league. For the Chiefs, the new league year also brought a key challenge, getting under the new salary cap. With significant contracts on the books, including those of Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and Travis Kelce, plus the recent franchise tagging of right guard Trey Smith, Kansas City faced some tough decisions. Some players have stayed while others have moved on, and the Chiefs management has been busy navigating it all. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into the moves Kansas City has made, their cap situation, and how it all ties into the upcoming draft. There's a lot to unpack as the new season begins. Kansas City managed to free up some much-needed cap space by restructuring a couple of major contracts. Early this morning, it was reported by Field Yates that the Chiefs reworked the deals of quarterback Patrick Mahomes and defensive tackle Chris Jones, creating an impressive $49.46 million in cap space for 2025. This move was crucial as the team needed room to sign early free agents like left tackle Jalen Moore and cornerback Kristian Fulton. Before these adjustments, the Chiefs were roughly $19.8 million over the salary cap, according to overthecap.com. Following the restructure, Mahomes' cap hit for 2025 now sits at $28.6 million, but it's set to spike to a massive $78.2 million in 2026 if no further changes are made. Similarly, Jones's cap number for 2025 is $23.6 million, with a significant jump to $44.9 million in 2026. Unless restructured again. Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap estimates that Mahomes' recent restructure will add $9.59 million to his cap number in each future year of his contract, while Jones's cap number will increase by $3.75 million annually from 2026 through 2028. As of now, the Chiefs are projected to be $29.5 million under the cap based on Over the Cap's calculations. However, this does not yet account for the new contracts of Fulton, running back Elijah Mitchell, and tight end Robert Tonyan. The NFL Players Association has calculated Kansas City's adjusted salary cap for 2025 to be $286.5078 million. This figure factors in the league-wide cap of $279.2 million per team, along with adjustments carried over from the 2024 league year. It's a tight balancing act for Kansas City as they continue to build their roster while managing future cap implications. You see how hard the front office trying to stay in the game. That's why some analysts are raising concerns about whether the Kansas City Chiefs can sustain their dominance heading into the new season. One of them, ESPN radio Joe Fortenbaugh, shared some critical points that could signal challenges ahead. And this is something that every fan must consider seriously. First, Fortenbaugh came up with the stats about Chiefs' incredible success in one-score games. They've won 17 consecutive one-score games, including a perfect 12-0 record last season. While impressive, Fortenbaugh explained that this level of consistency in tight games isn't sustainable over time. He compared it to the Minnesota Vikings, who had a similar run a few years back, but then fell off drastically the following season. It's the kind of success that depends heavily on things like last-minute opponent mistakes or fortunate plays, and eventually the math catches up. You can't rely on the idea that Denver will always come up with a game-winning field goal block, or that Cincinnati will always commit a costly penalty in a big moment, or that Isaiah Likely's toe will always come down just out of bounds. It just doesn't work like that. Eventually, the odds catch up to you, and those one-score games you're winning start to slip away. Next, there's the issue of injuries. Fortenbaugh mentioned how the Chiefs were one of the healthiest teams in the league last year, which is often a key factor for Super Bowl teams, but he warned that health is unpredictable and tends to regress. He pointed to examples like the San Francisco 49ers and Baltimore Ravens, who had seasons of great health followed by injury-plagued years. If the Chiefs face more injuries this season, it could derail their momentum. Then there's the aging offensive line. Fortenbaugh said the offensive line has been a problem, and he doesn't see it improving significantly. A weaker line could mean less protection for Patrick Mahomes and a tougher time establishing the run game, which are both crucial for the Chiefs' offensive success. Finally, Fortenbaugh noted that prolonged success can wear a team down. The Chiefs have been to the Super Bowl multiple times in recent years, and deep playoff runs take a toll. Even the team admitted feeling the effects of that grind after losing a Super Bowl not too long ago. Fatigue, both physical and mental, could have become a factor late in the season. Fortenbaugh's conclusion? While the Chiefs are still a powerhouse, He predicts they might take a step back this year. In fact, he's betting they won't even win the AFC West, let alone make another Super Bowl run. It's a bold take, but he sees the signs pointing to regression. Now, let's dive into what Kansas City has done so far in free agency. Since yesterday's update, there's been one more addition, which I'll touch on at the end. The Chiefs have tendered punter Matt Araiza and offensive lineman Mike Caliendo. These tenders secure the team's rights to these players, keeping them in Kansas City for now. They've re-signed wide receiver Hollywood Brown and linebacker Nick Bolton, two important pieces for their roster continuity. Guard Trey Smith has signed his franchise tag, locking him in for the upcoming season under a one-year contract. For new signings, they've brought in offensive tackle Jalen Moore and running back Elijah Mitchell. These moves are likely aimed at strengthening their depth and addressing any roster gaps. Additionally, the Chiefs have added cornerback Kristian Fulton and tight end Robert Tonyan, bringing in talent to reinforce both the defensive and offensive sides of the ball. On the special teams front, they re-signed linebacker Cole Christensen and long snapper James Winchester, ensuring stability in these critical roles. The Chiefs' official Twitter account highlighted the signings of Hollywood Brown and James Winchester, showing both players signing their contracts. Winchester is on a one-year deal worth $1.65 million, which includes $167,500 signing bonus. Meanwhile, Brown's one-year contract is valued at $11 million, including a $3 million signing bonus, a $3.35 million base salary, $250,000 in per-game roster bonuses, $250,000 in workout bonuses, and up to $4 million in incentives. These moves show Kansas City making a clear effort to secure key pieces and add depth, but the offseason is far from over. It remains to be seen how these signings will impact the team as they gear up for the new season. Now, let's take a look at the players who have moved on from Kansas City this offseason. The Chiefs have made some notable changes to their roster, with several players finding new homes. Guard Joe Thuney has been traded to the Bears, while running back Samaje Perine has signed with the Bengals. Wide receiver Justin Watson is now with the Texans. The team also released defensive tackle Matt Dickerson and defensive tackle Tershawn Wharton, signed with the Panthers. Additionally, safety Justin Reed has joined the Saints, and wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins is heading to Baltimore. Jordan Schultz was the first to report Hopkins' move, tweeting that the Ravens have signed the five-time All-Pro wide receiver to a one-year deal worth $6 million, according to his sources. Now, let's discuss the former Chiefs players who are still free agents and have yet to secure deals with another team or re-sign with Kansas City. The list includes quarterback Carson Wentz, tackle DJ Humphries, running back Kareem Hunt, tight end Jody Fortson, wide receivers McCole Hardman and Juju Smith-Schuster, defensive ends Charles Omenihu and Joshua Uche, and defensive tackles Derek Inati, Mike Pennell, and Marlon Tuipulotu. These players remain unrestricted free agents, and their futures in the league are still undecided. On a brighter note, the Chiefs recently learned that they'll have additional draft capital in the 2025 NFL Draft, which is just around the corner. ESPN's Field Yates reported the NFL's release of compensatory draft picks yesterday, and Kansas City has been awarded 2 more picks in the 7th round. 251st overall and 257th overall. While these late-round picks may not be flashy, they offer the Chiefs opportunities to add depth to their roster as they prepare for the upcoming season. In total, the Chiefs now hold 8 picks in the 2025 NFL Draft. These include their first-round pick at 31st overall, a second-round pick at 63rd overall, 2 third-round picks at 66th and 95th overall, a 4th-round pick at 133rd overall, a 7th-round pick at 226th overall, and now the 2 newly awarded compensatory picks at 251st and 257th overall. Interestingly, the 257th pick is the final selection of the draft. Whoever picked at this number, always consider Mr. Irrelevant. The Chiefs haven't had the final pick in over 15 years. The last time was back in 2009 when they selected kicker Ryan Succop with the 256th overall pick, which was the final selection of that year's draft. Succop had a solid NFL career, spending 5 seasons in Kansas City and playing 14 years in total. He even earned a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers during the 2020 to 2021 season. While the Chiefs have the option to trade this pick if they want to move up in the draft, it remains to be seen whether they'll hold on to Mr. Irrelevant this year. So, what do you think? Should the Chiefs target more players in free agency or now plan for the upcoming draft? And what about still remaining free agents? Do you think anyone should make comeback to Kansas City? Share your thoughts in the comment section.